In the evenings, we would hear the sound of the sandhill cranes migrating. Stick around to the end of the video and watch the migration happen. We had to pivot and make a change in our plans when we came to Albuquerque because our plans to go up to the Sandia crest by way of the tramway was canceled because of the high winds. The next day it was supposed to undergo maintenance, so I think we did pretty well pivoting. Right next to the Coronado Campground is the Coronado Historic Site. As we were setting up in the campground, we heard the thump-thump of the drums and the chants, so we headed over to the cultural fiesta. There were ruins of the Cuahua Pueblo. In the 1500s, Francisco Coronado, with 500 soldiers, entered the Rio Grande Valley and found this site. He was looking for treasures, but instead found dozens of villages inhabited by prosperous native farmers. Coronado and his men would have very likely starved to death if it wasn't for the assistance of the Tiwas, willing or unwilling. Conflict with the Spaniards led to the abandonment of this site. Today, the descendants of the people of Cuahua live in the villages of Taos, Picturis, Sandia, and Isleta. It was about to get loud. The Toys for Tot ride was on. There were hundreds of people ready to ride the ride for the Toys for Tots. Today we're riding the Paseo del Bosque along the Rio Grande River in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Woo! Albuquerque has plenty of bike paths. We chose to ride the Paseo del Bosque bike trail, a 16-mile path. We started on the north end at Alameda. The trail passes through Rio Grande Valley State Park, and we stopped at the Rio Grande Nature Center. When you're on a bike, you never know what you're going to see. A couple of coyotes came bounding out of the bushes. You got something. Did you see him?
Yeah. Got a rabbit. Another coyote there.
He's eating it. He looked up at us a few times and we decided it was time to move on.
Yeah, we can do that. Something different.
Okay, so we're going to go to the river and Bosque Loop trails. We're exploring the Bosque, the forest. The river loop is to the right, and that's part of the Bosque Trail. Hi. And on your left. Good morning. Thanks. Going through the Bosque. Yeah, it looks like horses go through here too. It's pretty bumpy. See what's out here. Morning. This is cool. One of our favorite types of bike riding is through the single track. I'm not as bold as I used to be on my mountain bike. But maybe that's not bad. I suffered a few injuries and a hip full of cactus. Yeehaw! Mostly, I'm just very thankful that we still both are able and want to still get out and do this.
Go to a spa and get a mud treatment, just come here.
Looks like the same mud we had in Ojo Caliente.
Pay good money for that.
But they don't have hot springs here to clean us off. When we were in Big Bend in southern Texas, we crossed the border and the Rio Grande River by being pulled across by a boat. There's probably more water in this part of the river than there was down there. We could have walked across.
You might get your ankles right here.
Well, it's pretty deep right here in the red mud. So Mike, you gonna use that rope and swing across and land in the water? Whew. I don't know what I'm getting into. Ouch, that was my helmet. It is tight. This might be more for walking here. Off of the bike trail, there's the Rio Grande Nature Center State Park. So we're gonna go check it out. The Merlin app is a great way to identify the birds we're hearing. That's a different entrance to the visitor center. Look. They have some nice bird blinds for us to watch the birds. That's Sandia Peak in front of us. The city of Bernalillo has the Coronado Campground. It runs along the Rio Grande River and is very affordable. It's even available at a discount with Passport America sometimes. Each campsite has its own little shelter and picnic table. A lot of the campsites are unlevel, but the ones on the periphery, like A, B, C, D, and E, are flat and they overlook the river. And they have one of A through D have a shared shelter, but I would like that. I'm not sure if you can tell, but the sites in the middle slant far down in the front and also side to side. If you want a site with a shelter, B and C are right next to the shelter, and A and D, you have to walk around, but it's not a problem. Next door to the campground is the Bosque Brewing, and we got to watch the migration of the Sandhill crane. We're glad you came along. Oh, look, circling.
Yeah.